My friend Steven asked me to come by. He's the king of funky, and I love everything about his shop. We collaborated on his Dodge Roadster a few years ago, and I'm glad to see he's still plugging away on it.
The nice thing, too, is just keep on adding to it. You can always add little things here, just little details.
No, it looks perfect. That's the thing, it is aged to perfection.
Yeah.
Last but not least, Steven is a picture car coordinator, and he's at the top of his game in that as well. Let's just say he's worked on some incredible movies with all the right stuff. You know, the cars are always impeccable.
Yeah, this film project I have, it's a period piece, but it's a weird period piece. I can't tell you exactly what it is, but I have an idea. I'll show you kind of what we're looking for. And I like to use my friends, guys like you that are into what I'm into.
Sure,
and get
aesthetic, yeah. Steven's projects are always this way, hidden in a veil of mystery. You're working with bits and pieces of information, but later when the movie comes out, you say, oh, wow, okay, I see the big picture now. This is how it fits in. Behind door number 6, 7, 8, 9, and 11. You got a lot of doors here, sir. Oh, wow.
Can't have enough doors.
Look at this thing. Man, this is a real pile of stuff. What is this thing?
It's actually a 1927 Dodge.
Dodge, right, okay, cool. Walking up on this thing at first, I'm like, whoa, this is like straight out of like a museum or something. Where did they find this? It looks like the real deal. Did you like outfit this? Or?
Well, during World War II, during gas rationing, everybody turned their old cars into a pickup truck to get around the rationing. I added everything to it, of course, you know, with all the stuff I collect.
Right, right.
Almost like it was a magnet to it. Everything wanted to get on this thing.
Well, it looks authentic to me. This is a perfect example of what Steven does. The director or whoever says, we need something that looks exactly like it would have been there. It's gotta be period correct. It's gotta look like a real thing, not some movie prop.
I call it the prospector.
Yes. This is what I like about Steven's world. It's not really about making the coolest car, the meanest lead sled. There's always a unique purpose about everything.
Traveling salesman suitcase back here, shoe shiner, shine shoes, boat with his fishing gear here.
Yeah, do a little fishing, a little crabbing.
Commercial fishing. No job is too big, no job too little for this guy.
I understand now.
Here we go.
Oh, that's cool.
Razor.
Little mirror in there somewhere too.
Yeah,
For the prospector on the go that needs to keep a clean face. I could relate to this guy, you know, the owner of the car, right? He's traveling around, he's got some skills, kind of homeless, but he's got all his gear. Literally, they would have thrown everything on their car, including the kitchen sink. So I think Steven nailed it on the prospector. Oh, what the heck is this thing?
that is his lucky rabbit's foot.
Ooh, I don't even know what creature that came off.
Just happened to come off an otter instead. This is not exactly, you know, what we're going for, but the style, you know, the period of the vehicle, and not so much of this on here, but
working man's vehicle.
Exactly.
I gotcha. These are the loose parameters I thrive on, you know? He's telling me it looks sort of like this, it feels kind of like this, but different. You know, I love the freedom it offers and the direction, so I'm in 100%. Conversation with Steven was pretty interesting. You know, he's talking about antiques, old stuff. I'm thinking, I live on a ranch built in 1940. This place is surrounded, it's full of that stuff. Look at this truck, for instance. This is a time capsule. This has never changed. It's been in service for who knows how many decades. You see, it's got the curved windshield, so that puts it around the mid-50s, I believe. So therein lies the catch. It's definitely too new. The treasure trove does not end here. I got another project that's a truck, and it's much earlier. Might not look like much sitting here, but this is a bona fide Model A Ford. Definitely the right era. This is one of those projects that's been in the queue for years, you know? I got it, I had some ideas, do some work, put it away. It's happened multiple times. I modified it, made the fenders a little wider. Someone had shortened up the bed on it quite a bit. It's kind of an interesting look. It's a real shorty. I just changed my mind about it a lot. That's why the body and bed were sitting in here with the fenders. But this project seems like this might be a pretty good fit for it. One of the challenges with this project and the stagnation of it is it's mixed up of all years and handmade parts. She's a biggin'. Cab is a 28, 29. The bed, I don't know what year it's from. The front fenders are 1931. The rear fenders, I think, are 31, but they're car fenders, so it's been a bit of a challenge to mate all this together. Back in the day, if you're going through the junkyard, this probably could be the same thing you'd run up against. That looks like a depression era truck, for sure. Steven's car was like a 1920-something, 30-something Dodge. This is a 29 Ford. They'd be friends back in the day. If it was my great-great-grandfather or whatever, right? He was a welder and he was in the cars and he's like, oh man, I found this clapped out old 29 Ford. We're not talking about bankers or lawyers. We're talking about the average Joe who's doing whatever it takes to keep his car on the road. And that's the thing, this looks super loose, but that's only half of the puzzle. I got the chassis, that was in storage too, and that's in a different course of development. It is a 29 Model A chassis. Basically been in and out of storage for 8-10 years. I work on it whenever I have a chance or I'm inspired. Pretty cool setup. It's been fully boxed, fully reinforced. Obviously got a V8 in it, brand new automatic trans, and the rear axle's from a Ford pickup. The whole front suspension is from Speedway. It's the drop tube axle with disc brakes, and then 16-inch rims. I was digging these with the old school Firestone tires. And I haven't started the engine yet. You know, this is a good used engine, as I'm told, ran well when parked. All we gotta do is put a bunch of parts together and see if it's actually gonna go. The old does it run quandary. One of the main requirements Steven had is it's gotta run. That way they can move it around the set, different shots, etc. If I can make it work, then it'll fit the bill. Now, a lot of those consummate professionals will say, nothing hits the floor, nothing hits the table. Every piece you come off gets bagged and tagged. This is not the case with this project. One of the requirements of this build is it's gotta look old, so you're not gonna see any of this mechanical stuff. So Ford, Chevy, VW, it doesn't matter what's in there. The old no oil trick. There's no oil at all in there. That's one of the things that a crew has in its benefits is you could always kind of blame it on somebody else, but it's all me here and I never really pay attention to where I left off. So you're gonna have to check out multiple things. This is a custom blend of startup oil. I don't look stressed, do I? Oil pressure, check. Now for the real test. I love those swirly straws. I gotta get some more of them for my high C. As they say, it's tea time. Prepare for ignition. I heard a little something. That was close. That's a fire. That'll cook your seals. What we have here is a failure to communicate. It's a good thing the inspectors aren't here because I could see the alarm bells going off in a big way, but I know that's just a simple backfire. I'm always a little surprised when something actually works. Sweet Sabella success. I think Project Dust Bowl is go. That's the green light I needed to see. Hollywood, here we come. This is already looking pretty Depression era. We gotta get rid of all that chrome. It's a little too exciting. Nobody is gonna be depressed looking at that, so I wanna build a full hood. This is the usual full custom start, a laundry list of parts from all over the map. I got a new radiator, a reproduction grill shell, a crusty old hood. Sounds like the recipe for success. All right, let's see how it fits now. Oh, I like it. Pretty cool because it has a pretty sharp down turn in the hood line. Something I wasn't expecting, considering it's all stock, but hey, what do I know? Working my way front to back, this hood rig sets off a good start. It's cool, but not too custom beyond its years. You can see the hood here is overlapping the body, and then it's missing a piece in here. So I'm gonna have to remedy that. First step in this hood rejuvenation process is to add some support. We gotta lock it in place to keep everything in line. So I hemmed over another piece of this steel so I got double thick, and that'll fix this mismatch in the hood alignment. That's pretty much the look. The thing I'm having a hard time with is the value, you know, the rust versus the new metal. I'm just gonna kind of haze it out a little bit. Working with new metal on an old project, it's gonna be a contrast of color, so we're gonna have to come up with a creative solution to blend this all together. The front end's fine. I'll match the other side to that. That looks good. The black paint puts us in the ballpark, but I'm gonna have to see what happens later to figure out how to congeal all these different body panels. Next piece of the puzzle is this truck bed. You can see why I widened the fenders on the rear of the bed. They fit those tires so good. It's got a good look. I've never seen it with a hood on it. I mean, it's like an airplane fuselage. So I don't know what's happening here, but it looks right. This particular build has its own parameters, but I'm up for the challenge. This is the Depression era, so materials are pretty scarce. You know, you wouldn't have any of the stuff I usually use, like with the tube bender, a modern tubing, anything like that. So I went over to my friend's house and picked up a bunch of rusty material from out of the back. Got some square tube, found some rebar, piece of angle iron, standard issue stuff you would have seen back in the day. Even though this rack has to be functional, for me it's all about style. It's got to have some character that adds to the vehicle. Kind of like some wrought iron work, but it's a roof rack. You know, if you went and put like a big utility roof rack, right? Like I'm thinking like a welding truck, right? Front to back. Like it wouldn't look like a Roadster pickup anymore, you know? It would look like a box, basically. It looks like it has plenty of headroom. Still has its streamlined appeal. I'd say Operation Roof Rack is a go. Oddly enough, great-grandpappy Roussel works solo in his shop also. It's a great family tradition. Even in the fantasy workshop of the future, there are always technicalities. All right, so I'm gonna make a square and then set it on the car and measure it. My shop is anything but an assembly line of repetition. It's kind of like free thinking, anything goes. The new and the unusual is what I'm looking for. Sign of the times, you know, I'm out of angle iron. I only found one piece in the scrapyard, so I'm short on the front. But I found this other piece that might be kind of interesting. It's got a nice rolled edge on the front. It's like when you're looking at the front, you're looking at this instead of a piece of angle iron. I'm also trying to make all the welds count too. You can see how it interacts with the rust. It looks kind of antique. If I go and sand anything, it's gonna be shiny. Now let's stick it on that car and see what happens. I like how that visor comes off. Front of it's cool. Back in the day, when you had to get it done, you used what you had. Is this a truck or is it a station wagon now? Let me clean my ears a little bit. Think this through. This is one of the problems with winging it. You know, you veer off the straight path, you make a couple decisions, and then you gotta recover from it. Typical stuff around here. I mean, I like it, but I wanna really like it. I had a few ideas about enhancing this roof rack, and I was itching to see how they looked. I got this rack in order, and I felt like it just needed more. Just this, it seemed like, you know, what is it gonna be, like a woody wagon? So I went ahead and added this top element to it, stuck them on to appear as if the pillars were coming through, and then this round rod hoop around the top. I think it finishes it off, you know, it really looks like a material rack and not just kind of some abbreviated shape of a body. What I find best with most of my process is just winging it. Go in with one hard idea and let it develop, you know, kind of organically. It's like, look at it and adjust as necessary. Now it's starting to get a little flavor, you know? Starting to feel a little more like a work truck. So typically, like with a work truck, you know, you got a roof over your head. And, you know, I'm thinking about the sunlight too. I think I want to make some kind of shade canopy over the cab portion of this. You know, it's got to look period correct, right? So it wouldn't be anything fancy. And you could just put a piece of plywood up there, but was plywood really around in the 40s? I don't know. I was like, oh, well, tarp would have been around, like covered wagon kind of material. This looks like it's been laying around the farm a bit. Do a little Honest Ian's custom upholstery on this jobber. You know, this is definitely a first. Doing the old covered wagon. It's a sewing table. It's a chassis jig. It's a layout zone. It does all the things. I like that stain. It's like it's had some use in its life. It's had some stories behind it. You punch a hole in the material, you put the bottom of the grommet in, put the top piece on, and whack it into place. And voila, instant covered wagon material. Back in the day, I had a cordless drill. Nice and taut. It's like old Pappy Roussel took his covered wagon skills and transferred them right over to his work truck. I think he'd say it was custom yet affordable. Been thinking of like accessories to, dress this thing with that would be sort of period correct, and this property is super old. It was here since 1940, and all the old man's tools were here on the property also. So there's one thing in particular that I just could never part with. The interesting thing about this property was it was truly an estate sale. They never got rid of anything, and it all came in the package. This is one of the artifacts that came with the ranch. Look at those wagon wheels, super cool. It's the old man's welder. I mean, it looks very authentically old. This in the back of that truck would be like, oh, it's an old antique welding truck, right? Just stick it on the car and see if it looks right. It's like Ben-Hur and his chariot up in here. It's pretty crusty. Starting to look older already. That's the thing, like with a movie prop, anything goes. It's only the limits of your imagination. Now it's really starting to have a personality, Old Grandpappy Roussel, he was a welder, a craftsman. I mean, what do you think? He was a pro tennis player? I'm gonna work on this a little bit, get it to fit in there. Let's think about like how to enhance this, what accessories, what really sells it as an antique welding truck. This welder was exactly the spark it needed. It's almost ready for its time on the silver screen. Even though I'm building this for Steven's movie project, I want to be able to use this later also. Got me thinking about that piece that I unbolted from the back of the welder. If I was a scavenger, I wouldn't need a tubing bender. I would just use this thing that was on the back of the welder. So that's half of the equation. This will do the seat back, but I also want some bends for the seat base. I got this old hand truck, and I'd say there's 2 good bends on there. Oh man, we got steering wheels. Definitely not the right era. This is a keeper though. All right, so I had a little structural webbing in there. Plenty of room, plenty of headspace. Just need something over here. You could always just put a Model A steering wheel on it, but if you were gonna be a customizer, wouldn't you be looking around for that unique thing? I was looking at these steering wheels that were out there, and I'm like, yeah, a little too modern. And right next to it was this tricycle. Look at this thing. I don't think this is seriously vintage, but it looks like it's vintage. Tell me it's not a full custom steering wheel. These weird ideas of mine don't always work, but you never know till you try. Off with the wheel. Nothing says class like using a tricycle on your Model A Roadster pickup. Once again, I'm truly making my 7-year-old self proud. If I could only see me now. I think a little spacer, and a little steering wheel. Got some sitting, we got some steering. I don't know if Pappy was into tricycles, but if he was, I know he'd be proud. I've never had a tricycle wheel steering, so this is a first. This is a momentous occasion. Sometimes you take a detour to get to where you need to go. Piece by piece, I don't really know what this thing's gonna look like in the end. I'm just picking at it. All of a sudden, it's a work truck, right? It's a welder's truck. I hid the modern engine with the hood, but still looking in there, that that's a nice brand new aluminum radiator. So I wanna put some kind of a grill screen in front of it, and I came up with 2 options. Yeah, we got these 2 cool screens. One was the front screen door of the house, and one was the rear. Try a little rust. That works. Put a little bit of a puff in it as I welded it too, the heat. Just a little something that adds a shroud of mystery to what's going on beneath. That's what I was going for. It's old-fashioned, but looks cool. Tornado came through Oklahoma, tore the screen door off, repurposed it. In the years past when I was working on this car, a couple of things I built custom on this were the windshield pillars, the A-pillars, and the actual windshield frame. So I made this nice arch that fits the cowl. And you can see it fits in here pretty darn close, but putting this roof rack on, it's too tall now. Nothing a little slice and dice can't fix. Let's make sure we keep the front the front. Little nonsense now and then. Front. There's something to be said for phonetics, right? Spell it like you say it. Front to shut door. Usually what I do is set up the template for the glass first. So I got some acrylic. I'm just gonna put the acrylic in place, finish everything up, and then last I'll have the glass cut. One of the problems with using this tubing is it's just a flat surface on both sides. We want this glass to ultimately seem like it's flush mounted in there, so we're gonna have to do a little cutting into this tube shape. Do a little sanding, a little finishing. I think that's really coming together. Even though this is an acrylic mock-up, it really adds to the finishing of it, where you're not just looking through an empty space. This is the actual windshield to come. Seat looks good, interior's coming together. Love the grille, and the windshield fits. Today was a good day. Before you think I've gone completely off the deep end, panning for gold in the desert, give me a chance. I picked up one of these. It's a texture gun, like you spray textured walls with. And I was thinking, you know, why don't I just texture the car with sand? Make it look like it's been all dustified. Drywall, dirt, it's all the same in the end, right? I guess we'll see. I gotta say, some people might do a test piece. Not me. I'm just going for it. I'm thinking that this process is gonna be similar to spraying metal flake, you know, in a paint job. So you have this solid material and you wanna broadcast it evenly over the surface. I gotta keep mixing it up in there to get it to flow evenly. I don't want any blotches. That's the thing about winging it. You gotta pay attention. You gotta adapt as the process unfolds. Yeah, look, now it's just about at the right ratio. If only great-grandpappy could see me now, he'd say, son, you done lost your mind. So this is what a car would look like, I think, if it drove here from Oklahoma through the desert. You know, the stippling of the water, hitting the sand, and actually gluing it to the car. But you see it mellowed out the chrome on the rims. That works. The tires look like they've been scrubbing through the desert for years. I like it. A few more details to put together, and it's ready to show to Steven. I haven't talked to Steven since the day I left his shop, and I'm kind of curious as to what he's gonna have to say about this.
What do we have here?
It's a little bit of everything, but it's basically a Model A. Just parts I had laying around.
Like they would do back in the day if they're building something on a farm. That's what it should be, is pieces of everything. Looks great. I like the stitches, the welds
I was thinking if this character was a craftsman, he was more like a metal worker, like a welder, so I just left everything showing.
Which is perfect. I love the wheel wells, the fenders with that spare tire piece in there. Taillights look good on here, the way they said. Model T. Whatever's laying around. The nail, even the canvas on the roof up there. It's gonna work.
I think Steven treated this project with me much like I treat a project with the other people I collaborate with, you know? Tell them just enough so that they can work forward on something, but not so much where you're gonna dictate the end result. Check out the steering wheel. You know your funky junk. Name that part. Where'd that come from?
This came off an old tricycle.
Bang! He knows the unit.
But you also dared and put it on there. Great steering wheel.
The more time he spends looking it over, you know, I see his head nodding, and he's like, yeah, this is like real steel. This is not a fake movie prop. It's an actual Ford vehicle. Does it run? But the good news is everything underneath is modern. It's got a Chevy 350. Drivetrain is brand new.
It's just perfect. So if we were shooting out here, you could see how perfect it fits for the look. This
is Wild West, man. What more do you want than a jalopy out west, right? And nothing sells a car like the test drive. You ready?
Sure.
Hop in. It's all you.
All right. Now that's a positive.
I really wanted Steven to just get in there while the engine was cold, start it, and drive it, because like this is what you're gonna get on a cold start and how it runs.
So this is about the speed we'll be going.
Looks good, man.
20 times.
Right.
Through the shot.
I mean, that's the whole thing. A car sitting in the garage is one thing, but when it's out in the desert, on the movie set, as he's kind of envisioning it, I think that seals the deal.
You actually look so good in that thing.
I love it, man. I feel like an Okie from Muskogee.
Yeah.
Heading out west.
Great job, great job. You made my job a lot easier.
With every project, that's always what I'm looking for. Thanks. You done good. To pin that for him on this project, I feel good. Have fun out there in TV land. You could drive it home. I don't need it anymore.
No, I don't like using my movie miles on the street.
Gotcha.
We'll put it on a hauler.
Yeah, it's always on borrowed time, right?
That's right.
Another project checked off the list. You know, I did not see this one coming, but it ended up really good. I got so many ideas I've been ruminating on. It's nice to get this project out of the way. Next project's gonna be pretty wild. I can't wait to get started. You're always taking me around the new corner of the property, man. I don't know who you're hiding these things from, but...
There's a project for you, Mr. Russell.
Oh, now we're talking. That thing is sweet. Today's project is brought to you by the color green. That's a real live Willys Jeep. That thing is cool. I gotta say, that's an Army Jeep right there. I can dig it.
We might get old, but we don't grow up.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. All of a sudden, I'm like, this is like a Tonka toy.
Yeah.
That's not a fiberglass one.
No, sir.
Nice.
That's a 1946 all steel.
Still look like a goon sitting in this thing. I didn't realize they were so tiny.
You look good in there.
I feel good. When you opened this hood in 1947, this is what you saw. Albeit a little bit cleaner, but it's so interesting that nobody ever messed with it. I wouldn't have been able to leave it alone all those years. Bill and I are going on and on about how we both love it so much. The question is, what do you want to do with it?
Well, I really got this for my grandson because I want to teach him, like I've taught my kids, to drive a stick shift.
Ah. I know he's been driving that Gator around. That's been his since he first learned to steer, right?
Yes, he's good at it now, but he did crash it once.
I noticed that. That's bound to happen.
Yes.
That's what you get for driving them plastic vehicles. Okay, I feel you. So that's automatic transmission.
Right. This is the next step.
Level. I just want to know if I could drive it before he gets his hands on it.
You can, right now.
Heck yeah, I've never driven one of these. It's the first time for everything. Wow. So where's first on this, down?
Down.
No, this is cool. Not only is this a cool car with some serious flavor, but it's perfect for Lincoln. I know he's a Boy Scout and really into the outdoors, so hey, there's nothing better than a vintage Willys. I like what we're working with. 12-year-old mind and an 80-year-old vehicle. What could possibly go wrong? Another beautiful day in Mr. Bill's barn. Senor Lincoln's in the house, and we are ready to get to it. Oh, look who it is.
Hey, Ian.
Hey, Lincoln, what's happening? I love your Jeep, man.
I'm really excited because I've never driven a stick shift before.
Me too. And I took it up that hill in the back. This is an awesome Jeep. My favorite is this windshield, right? So when you're driving, that goes down, then that foot goes out there. Hand up, that's it. Now you're cruising.
It's a convertible now.
Yeah, exactly. Before we do any kind of transformation on this Willys, the key thing is Lincoln's gotta look cool driving it.
Do whatever you guys come up with. He's got ideas.
My mentality is about a 12-year-old level, so all the cars that I do look like toys, so whatever you're thinking, man, let's do it.
I like what you did to my grandpa's truck. I was thinking that we could try and chop the top.
It has no roof, man. That makes my job a lot easier. Here you go. Shazam, the chop is topped. The top is chopped.
The way I see it, if the roof were there, it would be like really tall.
I could see that, yeah. You know, at first I thought he was crazy, but I gotta admit, the kid's right. I never understood why this big panel was here. You're in this wide open vehicle and you kind of have a shield in front of your face.
Yeah.
I feel like all the old dudes looking at me when I'm explaining my ideas at 12 years old of all these fantasy go-karts and everything else, and they're like, yeah, kid, good luck with that. I've just never really worked with the thin air, you know? There's nothing to start with up there. It's the classic conundrum of trying to relate to the next generation. I'll show you a little of the old envisioning tricks. First, we're gonna take some of the leaves off. If you did have a top, like if you were to put a roof on it, yeah, that's really high up there. Never stifle a young creative mind, you know? As a young kid talking with these older dudes, they could have responded one of two ways, like, just do what I say, kid, right? Or being supportive, and that's exactly the role I'm taking up. Instead of me telling you what to do, let's figure out how to do what you're thinking should happen. Do you want to put a roof on it, or just still want a convertible?
I don't think it needs a roof. You don't get much rain here.
tailoring this whole thing so Lincoln looks cool, right? Like it fits him, but he's gonna grow up. So I wanna be sure an adult fits in it as well. We got a plan, now let's get to it. We're gonna chop this roofless top. Well, why don't we start by taking this aluminum stuff off? We'll see what it's made of.
And see that side mirror?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
You can definitely improve on that. All right, those are started. Try to take them out. I'll work on the other side. It's a nice little change of pace, you know, instead of being with the old grizzled, been there, done that car guy, we got bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Spirited young man.
All right, I got all the screws out. What should I do with these?
Sweet. Take that thing and throw it out in the driveway as far as you can.
It already looks better.
It lowered this, see? Hop in now, check it out.
Ian, can you get your magical broom of viewing?
Prepare for magical broom of viewing. Oh yeah, it does look way better. I mean, that took the windshield down 1.5 inches. Do you want to go further than that?
Yeah.
Kid after my own heart. This is gonna be awesome. Enough with the screwdrivers, let's get into some fabrication. Have you ever taken a windshield out before?
No, I haven't.
Here, this is the windshield removal tool. I'm gonna let you handle that. Take it out. Strong work, natural ability. What are you doing here, man? This is a mess. That's not how you take out a windshield.
Well, you were the one who handed me the sledgehammer.
Hey, don't follow my bad advice. It's pretty interesting for a kid who just smashed apart a window and now I'm cutting on his Jeep. He seems pretty relaxed. How's that burrito treating you?
Good.
Good call, man. You got plenty of windshield now.
Yep.
It's as if nothing was in the way.
Yeah, I think this is good.
You sure?
Thanks
Sure you don't want to do something a little more creative? I mean, what about a little asymmetry? How about a little something like that?
I kind of like that, I have to admit.
Got a little bit of the gangster lean.
Could you possibly do the same angle with this bar?
You know, the freedom of the 12-year-old mind is what I've been striving for my entire career. Anything goes. Wild ideas, as long as they look convincing, it's gonna be okay. You got a natural talent for this design thing. I like it. As creative as that looks. I don't know if Grandpa's gonna go for that. We gotta make him proud after all, right? I liked your idea in the first place.
Yeah.
This is a pretty solid look. How would you feel about taking 2 inches out and just taking a look at it?
I'm thinking about a 3.
I like your style. We're getting along good. Already I could see that Lincoln and I just may really be able to get into some stuff. How about we chop it too? Take a look. You know, small steps. That way we don't have to go backwards. As simple as this procedure appears to be, I'm thinking it all the way through. I want to perform the modification and make it look seamless in the end. There's something about the cadence of my voice, the way that I work, puts the client at ease every time. Maybe a bit too much. What you think about that?
That looks perfect.
Full custom fit.
Feels right.
It's gonna take a little while for me to finish that welding, but that's the look, like the proportions. I mean, you look like you should be sitting in there. That's perfect. You said chop top. I saw no top, but we're on the way. I gotta say, there's a first time for everything, and the roofless chop top, it works. Lincoln's away on a scouting adventure, so I took it upon myself to finish all the welding on this thing. And I know this roll bar's out of proportion too, so I got a couple ideas to bring it all together. The roll bar in this Jeep is not suited for any kind of serious wheeling, you know, by today's standards, but it will provide some protection in a rollover. We're trying to do something that's at least as strong as the original. Yeah, perfect. First step is to get the mounting brackets in place and then build the roll bar to fit. Seeing Lincoln getting all excited about driving stick shift, he reminded me of myself when I was just a lad. Anything that had an engine, I just had a way of getting involved with it. I remember we were visiting some family friends. All the parents were having their conversation. I was wandering around the yard and there was the garden tractor. Came driving around, everybody's like, what are you doing? It's like, driving a tractor. So that's gonna be the mounting pads to start. All those years of doing the manual bender. You know, getting a little spoiled with all these deluxe tools is a nice thing, but you always gotta keep it balanced. You know, 1 foot in the future, 1 foot in the junkyard. All right, looks good. Definitely too tall. If we're just trying to make it look a little bit cooler, Would the roll bar have a little tilt back to it? Would it be completely square? I think visually. Like, might look a little bit cooler like that. Placement is everything. A wise man once said, don't look right, cut about a fistful off of it. All right, I think now we're more in the ballpark. Looking at the windshield and the hoop are parallel. Like looking at the rope on it, it's like that would be the top profile if it had a soft top or something. So it's a cool look, you know, it comes back like a fastback and then it's up and then it's down into the windshield. So it looks like this is going right into the windshield from the back. This Jeep isn't intended to be a super bad rock crawler. It's also not intended to be that mild grocery getter. It's all about Lincoln. It's unique to him, his development, and his future adventures. It's gotta fit the bill. I think we got this top wrangled into shape, but there's a whole lot more front, back, side-to-side action that needs to happen before this project's a wrap.
Lines up.
All right,
it's the perfect
that's how you're
size.
feeling. It's got a little snowplow feel to it. More of a cheese grater.
That is a 5-star bumper.
All right, I'm not arguing with you, you know. As perfect, as correct as this grill may seem, we also have some other options. Oh man, now you're cruising.
It looks kind of like it's trying to show off. This is supposed to be an old army truck, right? We don't need to add like Cadillac bumpers on it.
That's right. I like the way you put that. Look at that. True diamond in the rough. It's only 2 feet too wide.
Actually, I kind of do like that.
It's pretty mellow, right? I call this mission a success. We have a lot of options for any variables. Now it's time for the old slice and dice. I'm gonna cap this. I'm gonna make this much stronger. I think it'll really make the spring work a lot better if we have a cross member in here. Well, that being said, leads us to our prior discussion. How do we put this bumper on there? I'd say that looks pretty much in the ballpark. So look at that hang. That's like the Econoline van was super wide compared to this little Jeep. Looks like I'm gonna wanna take about minimum of 19 inches out of this bumper. 19 inches. That's 1.5 feet plus an inch. That's a lot of material. If this was like a regular city car, you know, you'd want that bumper protecting the front, right? But this is a trail rig, there's nothing to protect. So really, you want that tire to hit something. You don't want that bumper hanging up on anything. Mini bumper. Now we're talking. See, it's just like a center guard. I think it's a good look, you know? It's got some style. It's got this utility look, but just classed up a little bit. It's like a urban look for a off-road Jeep. All right, let's clean it up, weld her back together. I gotta say, the Econoline bumpers were the perfect choice for this because they were there. Old subtle finesse Rousseau. That's 24.5 inches narrower than it was. Yeah, I like it. It doesn't say too much, you know? I think we got the front of this Jeep buttoned up. It looks good, but the back half is a whole different story. I think it's gonna need a lot of full custom. There's no time like the present. I got the parts, I got the plans, and Mr. Bill's gonna leave me to have at it. No matter what the project is, I'm always thinking about how to make it look as sleek and unitized as possible. First thing is to get rid of all this business hanging off the back. So what I really wanna do is have this trailer hitch in here behind the license plate. You wouldn't even know it had a trailer hitch until you lifted the license plate. And if you didn't know that the license plate lifted, you wouldn't know it had a trailer hitch. Sneaky. I wanted to set up this trailer hitch in the center of the frame, you know, the strongest part. Instead of having the old hitch, how it hung down, it would put a lot of leverage on the frame. This is gonna be right there in the middle of it. Looks good from here. It's interesting the way that this Jeep was set up because you had your chassis and a few other support pieces. I was able to reconfigure every stock element and grab onto this new trailer hitch receiver, this tube pierced through the chassis. Once this goes in, you put your hand back here and the pin slides in. Next step, rear bumper. I want to get this bumper up as high as possible, and these taillights are starting to bug me already. Uh-oh. The art of this is just bang on it until it looks less bad than it was. This bumper's pretty beat up, and fortunately, I don't have to make it fit that Ford van anymore. So I'm just gonna bang it into shape so that both sides match. Look at that, straight as an arrow. Oh, I like it. Yeah, getting that bumper up, it hides all that old business. I'm gonna cut a square at about those calculations. There has to be a shroud of mystery behind every operation. Plus, you know, straight lines ain't my thing. The way the tailgate can still swing a ding. We'll put a couple brackets on this baby, and then we can work on narrowing it. So in the front bumper, I went really narrow because we were discussing that scenario of maybe like coming up on a rock or something where you don't want the bumper to hit. But in the back, I don't think that's as important. I think this shape follows this curve of the fender pretty well. And I like how this comes right in, but I don't like how that's gonna hit. Anybody who's done this will tell you it's all in the details, right? When something looks like it belongs, it's agreeable to the eye. That Econoline bumper, the placement, the trailer hitch, I think it fits. Plenty strong for what this Jeep's gonna be doing. Before I go any further, I gotta patch some holes, you know, tidy up the rear a little bit. At least now when the bodywork goes into play, there's no welding. Last but not least is this special hinged license plate bracket. How could I forget? Trailer hitch, no trailer hitch. Piece of cake. Nice and clean. I like how this wide plate does fill up this whole bumper, as if it was made for an older thing. We are getting down the road on this Willys. Makes me wish I was 12 years old, all over again. Bill and Lincoln are gonna spend some grandpa, grandson quality time, you know, finish this Jeep up. In the meantime, I got a little project I've been thinking about for myself. All right, now the real fun begins. You know, Lincoln's got his ideas about being a grown-up, driving a stick shift, and I got my own ideas about being 11 years old again. This is none other than the RCF Micro Mini, the miniest of mini bikes. My friend Evan makes these. The engine's very powerful for this size machine. He even upholstered this cool seat and sent it over to me. I mean, the neat thing about this is they designed the handlebars for somebody that is about 6'2", right? But yeah. I mean, definitely has a charm, right? Like most of my projects, the first mock-up might seem a little loose. And I mean, it does look kind of comical at this point, but I think we're on the right path. You know, I have a tendency to build stuff that I have a hard time fitting in, and this really takes us to the extreme. The whole idea for this thing is I want something tiny I can just throw in the back of the truck, putt around the car show, you know? But I think Lincoln would get a kick out of it too. I mean, if I was 11 years old and I saw a pink seated Micro Mini, I'd be all over that thing. These bikes have the cool retro vibe, but for myself, I'm seeing something a little different. That's what I do. I'm a customizer, so I'm gonna do something to it, make it a little bit my own. About time I cut a mini bike. Whenever I start a motorcycle project, I tack it to the table first. That way everything is centered and secure. That's a pretty big rake. I guess it would steer. What do I know? It looks cool, right? Yes, it does. Instant chopper. All of a sudden it has attitude. Look at that. All of a sudden it's going 100 miles an hour. I think I want the tires sitting out like that. I'm not a huge chopper terminology guy, but I'm making these front fork flipper details. You know, they're unique to this sugar bear style front fork. That's what I want. I want a funky. Those 70s stop chopper vibes. Shaped a little bit differently by the end of this, but I just want something to start with. I can dig it. I hope you can. So I need 2 brackets to hold this, and then the fork will just hoop up and over. There's a lot of different techniques to shape and cut metal. Think about the old-fashioned blacksmith with his coal-fired furnace. Never gets old. It's like a heavy metal fork. That's starting to look like a chopper, eh? Evan was kind enough to send 2 different fork sets with the project, and luckily for me, it's the exact material I need to finish off the front of this frame. I gotta say, these smaller projects are kind of fun, you know? I feel like an elf giant elf in Santa's workshop. You know, Honest Ian's micro mini bike customization factory. I think we're getting close. It needs some handlebars. That is like the baddest kid in middle school just showed up to the football field. That's mean. That's like cartoon kid stuff. Count me in. Definitely on the right path. This thing screams outlaw. It's almost ready to terrorize the desert streets. Similar to what I did with the front, I'm gonna add another solid rod element in the back to support the seat. Starting to look a little zigzaggy now. All right, now for the authentic envisioning process. It's Easy Rider, baby. I want it to be silly looking. You know, it's a mini bike, come on. Look at that, perfect fit. So that got me thinking, like the last piece of the puzzle is like the gas tank, right? And he made these awesome tanks. They originally were designed to go off the back like that, but I figured, hey, you know what? I want that thing front row and center. You know, rather than adding bulky hardware like you see with these clamps and the kit it came with, I think a much simpler design. Just one simple bracket and one threaded petcock to set it in place. That's actually the mounting point, you know, for whatever, the quart of gas you have in here. That way it's just like floating in the frame. That's pretty slick. I like it. Just silly enough. Oh, look at that fixture with the back. It's perfect, just a nice little spring. Made it back to Bill's to see the finale of this Jeep project. And I got a little something to show Lincoln as well. Hey, Lincoln.
Hey, Ian.
Man, this thing looks awesome.
I know, right?
Walking in the door, it looks like something I remember. It just looks a lot better than I remember also. Wow, this thing turned out crazy cool.
We did a bunch of work to it.
Yeah, it definitely looks a little bit fresher than when I left. I love how you kept the rims matching the paint on the bumper.
The favorite things I added was probably the winch.
Heck yeah, if you get into real trouble, you're able to pull yourself out of a ditch.
Yeah.
Tires are cool. They're like knobby motorcycle tires or something. They could have gone any way with the paint and finish on this thing, but what I really appreciated was color matching the rims to the bumpers. Just puts a clean look around the base of the thing. They painted the roll bar black, takes a little of the statement off of that, it puts it on the wheel tire combo. It's just a clean ride. So have you even driven this thing yet?
No, actually, I'm a little bit nervous. But
I'm a little nervous too.
I haven't even driven clutch before either, so.
Really, not yet?
No.
It's a shakedown run, man. It'll be the first of many in your life. What could possibly go wrong?
It'll probably be fine.
Just walking in and looking at this thing, I was like, man, this thing must be a really cool vehicle to drive, right? And he's like, yeah, not yet.
This is definitely my favorite one that I've seen you do.
Oh, you haven't seen everything yet. You got to see what I've been working on at my shop. I got a little surprise for you. I might change your mind about this whole project. You might want to trade me.
Whoa!
Aha! The whole focus here is like Lincoln coming of age. He's growing up. He's gonna be a man someday and drive a stick shift. And I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of do the opposite, Lincoln. Check this out. I put this mini bike together with a quickness. And let me tell you, it's a handful. It's got way too much power and it's super loose driving it. It's exactly what I needed.
Now that is a chopper.
Mini chopper.
That's really cool.
I know you wanted to paint your Jeep pink and didn't do it. So I painted my project pink.
Wow, it looks really good.
At first, when I was building this, I was like, oh, it'd be the perfect trade-off, right? Like I could drive Lincoln's Jeep around, he could mess around on my mini bike. As soon as I got on this thing, I'm like, whoa, this thing is not a toy, it's a weapon. You know, I'm heavy, and that thing wants to do a wheelie when I'm on it. It's pretty sketchy to ride.
I'm not crazy, I'm not riding this thing.
Let's hide this over here before your grandpa gets any ideas about this thing. Hey, hey.
Howdy.
Nice little project you got here. It's classy.
Yeah, it's been fun. He worked hard, and it shows. We had a great time.
That's one thing Bill explained to me from the start. The root of it is grandfather, grandson kind of project, right? You get to do it for the first time once in a lifetime, and I think they really got together well on it.
This thing was like hard to see out of. You had that much glass. You added all that glass. The stance is just perfect. My favorite is the hidden hitch.
Gotta love it.
I think it turned out great. What is that?
That's a chopper. Haven't you ever seen one? That's one thing I know about Bill. He's not really into the wild stuff, so he gives a second glance like, how'd that thing get in the shop, right?
Is this just a man with too much time on his hands? What are we gonna do with it?
Absolute nonsense. Mayhem. It has no real purpose on this earth. Hey, man, you gotta let me do a little bit of me sometimes. Come on.
That's great. Just great.
Old subtle Roussel just hung up his cap for good.
Yeah.
It's time to get back to the weird stuff.
Today's the day. This is his first day. We waited for you to come where you could be part of the driving experience.
Well, I know a little something about driving a Jeep. It's only natural, you know, Bill respects me in a certain way, so he's like, hey man, teach the kid how to drive stick shift, right? He ain't gonna do it himself. And you pull it back, and then you're in first gear.
Oh.
Putting on my proper adulting cap at this moment. I'm telling him, you know, this is what you gotta do, this is the way this functions, this is what happens in an emergency. So, yeah, do as I say, not as I do.
This is great.
Lincoln doesn't seem to be too stressed. I remember my first time driving a stick shift, and I was pretty nervous. I know what the potential is here. Swap it out. There comes a time when you can say all you want, but there's nothing to it but to do it. So I'm like, all right, kid, you saw how it works. Give it a try. You know what I always say on someone's first drive?
What?
Go that way.
Okay.
Really fast. As fast as you can, and if anything gets in your way, turn.
Okay.
Pay attention to Uncle Ian, it'll be fine.
Okay.
Look at that. You're a natural.
Bye.
Give it a little gas. Think you got this, man. Go right through that pine tree. Don't even be scared. Hey, I don't have any kids, right? So no problem if I lose this one. I'm just gonna have to turn the key and send it on down the lane.
He worked hard and he deserves that. That's great.
Bill's standing by, he's giving him the encouragement. He knows the kid's got it. Pretty much what this has all come down to. It's all you, kid. Make it happen. You sit in the seat for the first time, and it's like, whoa, this is my responsibility now, right? And I can see it. And he's thinking it through. He's taking his time,
Not that.
stepping on the right pedal, he's moving his hand in the right direction. It looks good.
I thought I was supposed to drive away.
That's what I thought too, man. What's going on over there? Strike two.
Okay.
Hey, like they say, third strike you're out, or third time's the charm.
Okay, let's try it again.
I think he's got this.
Oh, what do you know? I made it.
Took right to that.
Yeah.
Bill's happy, Lincoln's super excited, and Uncle Ian has just made his first appearance as driving instructor. Today was a good day.